What's up? This is Birdseye Tarot. This is completely off the cuff. I wasn't even planning on doing anything because I was feeling quite awful. But did some Buteyko breathing and I feel a little better. So here I am. What does the collective need to know? I didn't even prepare for this. I usually take a card and get the energy. Nothing. So it's gonna be a surprise to all of us. Angela. Maybe it just means angels. But also there could be a person named Angela who is important. We have hostilities. It was in reverse though. I feel like there's going to be some. It's quite obvious, but there's just some hostilities ending. Um, I feel like no, somebody doesn't feel like arguing with you anymore. It might be you that doesn't feel like arguing with these people anymore. You've been very vulnerable. You've tried many things. Yeah, it's you. You've tried many things, and you're just so over it. So you're kind of just going with it. Like I feel like mm, you might, and I do feel like there's still a need for some boundaries here, because you can't please their bullshit away. You're going to have to like set a certain limit, and it's okay to avoid conflict to a certain extent, especially when it doesn't make any difference. But you still have to have a limit. So just there's I'm seeing the temperance card in the tarot. So finding a nice middle ground is a good rule for life in general, I think. Although it doesn't always work that way. Um, Treasure Island, yeah, basically. I just feel like it's just kind of confirming what I just said, finding a nice middle ground, because ultimately this will get you where you want to go. Okay. I also do think that in the dust, when the dust settles, that's what I want to say, you're gonna find is something new from this. Honestly, I do feel like I heard it's like jobs ending. Could be me. Um, but from the dust settling, you're gonna find a much better opportunity here. And it doesn't mean that you're gonna lose your job. It just means there's something about the job that you have that probably is ending, or something about this friendship or about this relationship. So sometimes the death card in tarot, these endings, they don't always mean just a full stop. They don't even necessarily mean an ending. Actually, sometimes they just mean like a some troublesome time. But as an ending, it could just mean an ending to an aspect of a relationship, but it's still kind of like a very distinct change, because the Wheel of Fortune is more like a change in this of the same thing, right? But the death card really changes its identity in some way. So I do feel like the identity of this situation is changing, and it is bringing a lot of good things to you. Why haven't I been shuffling? I don't know. Maybe there is some forgetfulness here. Some okay, forgetting what, maybe even intentionally forgetting what has happened in the past with somebody in order to move on. And first of all, this is not a bad thing. Sometimes that's exactly what you should do, because people change and things get better. But it depends. You need to use your discernment, and I think it's pretty obvious what things are acceptable and what things are not, and what things you can let go of and what things you can't. And it's just one of those things. Don't fool yourself, and don't fool yourself. And sorry, I was like thinking way too hard about the card that I was getting. Here and now. Yeah, what are they doing now? Is this situation, it could be a situation that you have with yourself, but what is it doing now to you? How do you feel about it right now? That's the question that Spirit is asking. What are you like, if you could change it in the way you want right now, how would it be? And like, this would be like a, I don't want to be, I mean, don't go too far about how it could change, but like, if you could change it, how about this? Think of a change that could happen over a 6-month period, and if you could have that change by tomorrow, what would the change look like? That's what this is saying, I feel like. Because that's the direction that you need to start putting your energy in order to get this treasure island, okay? This good, like, result. And I feel like there's some pessimism here. There's really not a big like feeling of, oh yeah, this is gonna be great. I just feel like it's kind of like, I don't know, maybe it is, maybe it isn't. I do feel like some people are like, I really don't think it is. Just remember that I don't like to say that this is 100% the case, because it's so much more complicated than this, and people who love law of attraction make it seem a lot more simple than it actually is. But how we imagine it. Where is my card? Oh no, this isn't the Imagine card. This is the Treasure Island card, not Imagine. But still, how we imagine it is how it's going to be, to an extent. To an extent, there's still so many things. The 3D world, there is, privilege and things like that that do get in the way. But in general, how we imagine is how it's going to be. At least that's the direction it's going to take. So it's so important to just practice, even just for a few seconds, and increase those seconds every day of imagining what the solution, what the result would be like if it was in your favor. And I think you'll be surprised about what that will bring. And I honestly, I'm kind of channeling this because I've known this, but it's just like it's very difficult for me. So don't beat yourself up if you if you end up in a cycle of like pessimistic thought, because it definitely happens. Um, and uh, I can't I can't be an example there, because I just don't, I'm not good with that yet. Okay, so this is number 11. This is cornucopia. This reminds me of oh my god, what is that thing called? Oh, the Mandela effect. That's the first thing that comes to my mind. I just got chills. So there might be something. Wow. Okay. Oof. I want to get more information about this. This just like piqued my interest with a QU. Okay, piqued my interest. Um, I do feel like there is something about the past that you feel. Oh, someone's gaslighting. Someone's gaslighting. Okay, I was thinking this was a little bit more mystical, but anyway, if somebody might be, it could be gaslighting yourself as well. So just remember, kind of everybody falls into that sometimes, and it's not like, it doesn't mean that anybody who does it is a narcissist. It just means that they need to work on themselves, right? We all have work to do on ourselves. But if it's a pattern, that's a different thing. Um, but if somebody is trying to make the past out to be something that it wasn't, that's a red flag. Run, run. At least run. If they argue with you when you try to correct them on it, just run. Or maybe take a break first and then correct them later if you really need to. It really depends on the situation, because maybe this isn't worth it. But don't let somebody try to sugarcoat the past. But also, don't let yourself write a story about the past that is worse than it was. And that's where it's like, it's kind of a tricky story, because how we feel about the past is valid, but that does not mean that that's what happened. But at the same time, other people might try to skew it in the other direction. So we need to really be objective about the past. And if we can't, and our memory is not 100%, there's much evidence about that. So if you aren't sure, ask the cards, ask your reader, ask your guides to give you that information from an objective source, through signs, through symbols. Ask them for a sign. If, like, hey guides, did it happen this way? If it did, give me these signs. Did it happen this way? Then give me those signs, right? Like, just a thought, because if our memory is hazy, then it's hard to get the truth, and sometimes it doesn't matter, because again, the past is not real. It's no longer there. It's the present is the only thing that really matters. But the past does have those traces on us that are manifesting in the present. Okay, so I don't know. There's just things to think about. I don't want you to feel like I'm gaslighting you because I have no idea what the situation is. I'm just saying that there is this message of, again, balancing the perspectives on the past and don't let your emotions completely drive your story of it. Okay. Exchanging gifts. Okay, I want to get another card. So, and okay, the cornucopia here could be, I feel like it's kind of doing a, like a double thing, where it's talking about the past and it's talking about the future. Yeah, so I think that there is a gift somebody's trying to give you, or there is something they're going to say to you that is really going to, I want to say soulager. I can't, what is that word? Relieve? I don't know the word right now, I'm sorry. But it's going to kind of assuage. I don't know. Like, like if a cat is upset and you just pet it and it kind of calms down, that's what I mean. I don't know why I can't think of this word right now. It's going to make you feel better. Anyway, and it really, okay, let's see if this is because it's coming from the second chakra, so it's coming from a good place. I feel like that's true emotion. It's not the ego, it's true emotion. It comes from something baser. It's not the heart, but it's pure. Yeah. Well, mm, it's not necessarily innocent, but it's pure. um Rest and rejuvenation. Okay, and they're gonna, part of this gift is that they're going to allow you time. And this might be a gift you're giving yourself, right? But somebody's allowing you time to recover your energy and actually get bearings on whatever the hell the situation is, okay? And actually figure out what you want to happen next. So if you're not sure what the answer to that question earlier was, about the 6 months thing, if you're not sure yet, this is a message to give yourself some time and to tap into your sacral chakra. I do feel like this is a serious issue for everybody lately. The sacral chakra has come up so many times, not just for me, but for so many people. And I don't think it's a coincidence. I just think that it's something in maybe the astrology, maybe in something about the earth itself. Like, I really think it's a collective sacral weakening right now, and it really must be worked on. Everybody really needs to work on this in one way or another. um, and I know that when my sacral is not good, which is always, and my sacral chakra is probably my weakest one, but when it's really not doing well, my sacrum spine will be really weak, and I will get a bad back, and it will just hurt. And I will walk funny, like, I swear. So your sacral chakra is your chakras in general. They really do have a very direct effect on your your physical health, like, and you really do feel this expansion and stability in each one when they're healthy. So you should feel a slight expansion in a way that gives you stability in each of the regions of the chakras when they're healthy, so that also equals good posture. If you have bad posture, that means there is a block, and usually it's in one of the chakras. I mean, it's always a mirror, your body and this and the energy, right? But for me, the energy really, like, when I focus on those chakras and I really target them, I always end up feeling better in that area, especially if it's the solar plexus or the sacral, because those are the two places I feel very weak in my body often. Blossoming abundance. Okay, so this is, gosh, I really think that how you handle the situation and how you choose to manifest what comes next is really going to bring you something good. And I don't think that you really need to think too much about this, because I think this is how you're going to naturally act. But I do just feel like this reactionary energy really needs to be looked out at, because it could cause this abundance to be delayed, right? Also, it's number three, so that could be creativity. That's cooperation. That could be, cooperation with the universe, co-creating. So the universe is trying to help you co-create right now, and it needs you to have some kind of rest. This doesn't always mean sleep. It often means meditation. And if you feel like you can't meditate, I have a whole thing about that I want to make a video about. But basically, focus on your nervous system first. If you feel like you can't meditate, I'm not telling you that your experience is invalid. What I'm saying is that that's because your nervous system is dysregulated. So if you can regulate your nervous system, you will be able to meditate. But that does take a little bit of work, but it's all work that should feel very simple. And if it's not feeling simple, then you need to simplify it more. And that's always like, for the hard things in life, that's my philosophy, and I will stick to it, because every time I go with that, every time I simplify the things that are really hard for me, they become simple enough to do, right? And they don't overwhelm me, right? So that I just think that I have a lot of reasoning behind that. But anyway, moving on. Blossoming abundance. I feel like I want to do tarot now. What else does the collective need to know right now? And I know, and we're trusting that Spirit is bringing this message to exactly the people who need it at the exact right moment, whether it's when I post it or in the future, to make it as relevant to them as possible and helpful. See if I can channel anything here. Okay, well, I just think that's my phone, but it really does. Sometimes there's a little bit of a difference between the like light shadows, you get in your eye, and the visions, but they're very similar. But it's kind of shifting. It almost, I keep hearing the word window lately, so I really don't think it's the coincidence. I just think it's that's how it was set up here. So looking out the window, I keep hearing that. I don't know what it means. I mean, I know it means like you looking at life without participating in life, like looking at the world without participating in the world. But I don't know exactly what the significance is. But I do feel like that's a collective message that is coming out a lot. Being the observer, I think. And yes, being objective, being the observer. So there is such a need for objectivity right now. It's so important. I just think that if we get caught up in our emotions right now, then things could go really haywire, and we want to avoid that, right? So I do see death and the devil here. So letting go of these things that are burdening you to death. Okay, things that are, I'm really getting like a burden on the system, burden on, it could be the system created in like a worldly system, but it could be the bodily systems as well. I feel like they're, again, here it's mirrored. And let's see, I was just looking at these cards today, and I was thinking before maybe I should just read one side depending on if it's reversed or not. But now I really think it's like, it's interesting to look at both sides, although maybe not as much for this one. But this looks like an abandoned school in the background there. And this reminds me of like Russia or something. So I might be getting a world message here, that there is a system in place that is coming down in that region. But I also feel like Russia could just be an important like cultural thing for you. There could be, you could have family in Russia, or in Ukraine. You might know some people there, from school, perhaps. I do, so I feel like that is a message for me as well. I definitely have some Ukrainian friends from university. That's interesting. Okay. And but we have good news. So whatever that is, it's good news. But I do feel like this is also a strain on your psyche. Getting back to where we were, this is a strain on your psyche that has got to be relieved somehow. It cannot continue. Okay, it cannot continue because you either have the option of good news or bad news, right? And the good news was what came up, but this bad news, that energy is still there. It's still potential, right? So you're gonna have to drop these. You're gonna have to drop something. You can't continue the way that you're going. You've been doing way too much all the time, and you are going to have a burnout if you don't slow down. I'm hearing, oh wow, this came out really, like, I don't know where that came from, but if you don't slow down, you're going to have a burnout. So please slow down, give yourself some rest, not just sleep, but entertainment, like, I don't know, adult time. I'm getting that really strongly actually for some of you. Like going outside, meditation for sure, watching some TV. Like you need some time for you, and it's not optional. Like if you continue the way you're going, and this is not for everybody, I know, but if you continue the way you're going, I'm not trying to be like rude about this, but they are being very pushy about this, very pushy. And it kind of gives me a little bit of a fright, which I don't want to give you that, because it's not like they're saying it's not like an immediate thing, but they're saying you're gonna feel sorry you didn't, if you don't find a way to do it now. Later you're gonna feel sorry that you didn't. And I just want to give you the truth in the message, okay? But just, don't let that stress you out even more, because they're giving you plenty of warning. That's what I'm saying. They're giving you plenty of time to change this. Okay. I feel the urge to show you how to do something called light from dark, but we'll do it at the end if I can remember, and if not, then I'll try to make a short about it. But it could be very useful for you. I don't know why. So we have the Hanged Man. You've been waiting on something to happen, but there's. I feel like both of the meanings of this are relevant here. You've been waiting on something to happen, but you need to shift perspective about how it's going to come to pass, because I feel like there's just other things you could do to make things easier on yourself, and you could work hard, you could work smarter and not harder. Yeah. And it's you're having you're having a lot of trouble embracing that idea, because you feel like if you're not working hard, you're doing something wrong, and that is not the case. If you work smarter and not harder, you're doing it better, because you're not here just to be a workaholic. You're not here just to deal with people's bullshit, okay? You're not here to just deal with whoever this is that is trying to gaslight you all the time. Like, you need some time away from that. Okay, I really hope. I mean, I understand. You get it. You're smart. I get it. But like, phew, it's just very strong energy all of a sudden. But it's kind of humorous. They're saying it in a very humorous way. I want you to understand that. They're trying to kind of make you giggle. But sorry, but they're. I don't know why. But they're serious. Holy shit. Okay, I'm sorry. I think it's the magician. He kind of caught me off guard. He always does in this card. Your good fortune is coming. Like, you don't need to push it anymore. The change that you want in the situation is coming. Okay, it's coming. You've already spent a lot of time on this, and now you can kind of sit back and allow it to happen. Okay, the masculine energy is kind of worn. Like you're gonna need to use it again in the future, but at the moment, the feminine is gonna be easier for you to handle and better in general. I did see the Nine of Cups here, but I'm gonna go to the next card that I picked, which was the Six of Cups, which I always, in this deck, always mistake as the Nine of Cups. So I kind of feel like it has that energy in this one. I love that he's like saving the girl from the water. I think that's so funny, but he's not saving her. He's just waving at her. He's like, "Hey, what's up? What are you doing in there?" And then there's this guy. He's really nosy. He's like, "What are you kids doing?" So, don't let anybody get in your business. Like, if people are like, people might be judging you a little bit, but don't let them do that. But also don't like flaunt. Like, there's something I'm hearing. Don't flaunt something. Don't flaunt something in public that you don't want. That people are obviously going to judge. And I'm not saying no, don't be yourself, but there's boundaries we need to have with ourselves, right? We don't go outside naked, and I'm not saying that's what you're doing, but it it's just like, just be careful about, I feel like, how you treat maybe like a partner or a friend or something like that when you go out. Like, I'm kind of seeing out at a bar, maybe you and your friend are kind of being a little bit too like drunk. Maybe, I don't know, but just be careful about how the interactions and that people are listening, because there could be some kind of rumor that starts because maybe you weren't being too cautious about the words that you were speaking in public. Okay, that was very specific. Oof. Okay, I know every time I show this card, people go away, but honestly, this card's energy lately has been really good. So, but we have the tower. Now let's see what it's about. Okay, let's see what it's about. And I honestly like this side of the tower a bit little. Oh no, wait, I like this side of the tower better because it's already broken down, right? And the lightning is striking, but it doesn't really matter anymore. But this, I guess, the lightning is striking. Okay, it's talking about what I was just saying, because oh yeah, we just need to watch what we say to each other. And maybe it goes back to this original situation where you guys are having some kind of issue with each other and about an argument about the past. And it could just be that, like, you need to like, just any third party that could be listening, um just yeah, I don't know what the situation is, so there's no judgment from me. I have zero idea what it's about. I'm just passing these messages along. Okay, so let's get one or two final messages for you, collective, the ones who are here who need to see this. Okay, what's a final message? Oh, I forgot the magician. A final message for the collective here, please. What do they need to know? I hope this was like comprehensible. I just realized I've been here for 28 minutes. Don't really have much of a point to this message. Again, I guess it was just off the cuff. And again, I feel like they were a little bit harsh in how they gave their message today, and I hope that if you're still here, I guess you can handle it. But I hope that it wasn't uh, off-putting, because they really, I mean, again, I'm channeling it, but they really are trying to do it out of some concern, and they're like, don't scare them, Kevin. You scare people sometimes. But that's not it. It's just like they just really want you to care for yourself and for what you tolerate right now. Okay, I just put this back, so, but I guess that was the reason I am getting a chill here. We're gonna put it back, but I'm gonna think about it as I shuffle. So I'm getting drawing down the moon, and I feel like there's another one like drawing down. Oh no, I don't know. I feel like there's one for the sun too. So look into those. That's like the second time I've gotten that message. That must be the same person who needs to do that. Light from dark. So imagine yourself, close your eyes and just imagine that your entire body is void, complete and total darkness. But that darkness is actually the size of the entire universe. But there's no stars, it's just black. And that's all that's inside of you. So, like, somehow, like, paradoxically, your inside is infinitely void and black. And after you do that for a few seconds, just allow light to start coming in, and it doesn't come from any place. It's almost like it just appears, um, in every molecule, in every, not molecule of space, that doesn't make any sense, but every like cubed millimeter of space, there's light, and it just comes out of nowhere, and it fills everything, and it gets stronger and stronger and stronger and stronger and stronger, and then eventually it's so much light it blinds you. And that you can then imagine kind of go back and forth between the infinite expanse of inside of you and kind of an outside view of yourself and see it shining. And that energy is the infinite universal energy um, of creation, and you can use that for magical purposes. But also, it's really good for just clearing your chakras and kind of balancing them. So doing that regularly would be very helpful for you. But also, if you need to charge anything like a sigil or anything at all, or if you have an intention that you want to really put some energy in, do that, and then speak the intention and speak it, and allow the light to come out, and then the darkness comes back. So the void comes back when you release the light, and the light comes out with the words, and the words are charged by the light. Something, anything like that you could do, or even with a piece of art. I'm getting a painting. You could charge the painting. So, final message, please. It's not my idea, by the way. I got it from Gallery of Magic. But I think that's not a copyright, or it's not like a secret one. There's plenty of things from them that I can't share, unfortunately, because they prohibit that. But that one is on their website, I think. Justice comes out again. Y'all, come on. What's going on with this Justice card? Why is she looking at me like that? I mean, this one's not really looking at all. She has her eyes closed, but I can just see the other Justice card looking at me. Four voices. Okay, Magician came out again. Um, if there's somebody being manipulative, give it a break. If you have to speak a lot, give it a break. Your voice needs a break. Your voice needs a break. I don't know what that means. Your voice needs a break. Your thoughts need a break. You need a way to stop thinking. You need a way to stop having to talk. And I'm not saying shut up. I'm just saying there's things you're discussing that need a little bit of just a break. Okay. Um, yeah. Okay. Is there anything positive you can tell me, please, Spirit, so they don't hate me now? Three of inspiration. Okay, I like that. Yeah, the dominoes are falling from what you've been working on. Okay, Ace of Materials. Yeah, they're just reinforcing the fact that there is a material reward coming for you. Okay, we've been 34 minutes. I know you probably, and the Magician again. So whatever it is that you are doing, whatever it is that you are like active actively involved in in changing in the world, it is working. The effects that you want are that effect is happening. Okay, it's coming towards you. You might not see it yet, but it is coming. But I do feel like most of you already see the dominoes falling, and you're just waiting for them to come. So you don't need to put more force into this. the dominoes are falling, right? You get it? They don't need any more push. So, but congratulations, really. And I do feel like somebody here needed some kind of congratulations on something that they've created or something new that they're bringing into the world or something like that. So if you need a congratulations, you got it. So have a good night.